Bob, a small business owner, manages the revenue he profits and invests. As an entrepreneur, it is his job to come up with new methods to expand his business. However, what's best for business doesn't always translate to what is best for his employees. His obstinate approach fails to recognize the overtime labor costs and the stress that he demands of his employees. His avaricious concern for prosperity affects everyone around him, as is the case if the U.S. plans on continuing to pipeline drill for oil in the U.S. We as citizens have to be aware of how our natural resources are obtained and what this means to our society. It is our responsibility to ensure catastrophic events such as the 2012 Alberta oil spill does not occur. It was a result of a poor economic decision that their own citizens must fix to protect their natural resources. Residents reported to the Globe and Mail news organization that it is not a question of if there will be a pipeline break, but when there will be one, stating we need to keep up with the questions. How many pipelines will be crossing the Red Deer River? How old are they? What condition are they in? What are the maintenance schedules? Do we as a society believe the trade-off of business outweighs the importance of our own well-being? I think not. Not if it requires incessant checkup of their performance. The air that you breathe, the water that you drink, and the land that you inhabit must be secured. It is our responsibility to understand the effects of drilling and for all of us in the U.S. First, we should look at how oil drilling has affected the environment and what oil companies claim will be the incentives. The negative effects of oil drilling is proven to be greater than the profits of its undertaking. The techniques used by oil drilling are unsafe. Fracking, as shown here, is a common technique that injects chemicals into bedrock to extract oil. It poses serious health problems to our air, water, and soil, and may even cause earthquakes. The Geology and Human Health Organization reports that as a result of fracking or drilling in Montana, the state's nitrogen oxide pollution, or smog, has increased by 310%. Concern over fissures that lead into leaching into groundwater are also a concern. As for soil contamination, journalists from ProPublica report on a waste increase by nearly 5,100% over the past decade. In Oklahoma, scientists are monitoring a relationship between fracking and earthquakes. They tell CBS News that fracking generates vast amounts of wastewater that is pumped into ejection wells that are thousands of feet underground. However, supporters of the drilling cite the example of the Keystone XL pipeline. They claim 20,000 jobs will be generated if they are allowed to proceed, but they admit that jobs are temporary. The project conducted by TransCanada has the intent to transport crude from the oil sands in Canada to the Gulf Coast of Texas. Although this means that there will be routes within ecologically sensitive areas such as the Sand Hills in Nebraska. It has been shown by example, however, there is minimal impact on the economy. In Alaska, Shell has proposed to cut $10 billion in 2014 for its expanse into the Arctic. They claim oil fields are fade faster than new ones can be tapped into. This is case in point that if this occurs in the Keystone pipeline with insufficient resources, that the whole entire project will be useless. Along with that, Shell has problems abiding laws and regulations. In 2013, they had to pay $1.1 million for violating the Clean Air Act. It is because their vessels in the Arctic had high nitrogen oxide emissions. The uncertainty of pipeline drilling, along with costing the American people its wildlife, is another concern. What America is known for is its natural land diversity in its landscapes, and it will be threatened if drilling continues. The citizens of the U.S. enjoy the great outdoors and do not want to lose it on behalf of money and oil prices. As infrastructure expands, it is our duty to ensure the environment is protected as well. In Massachusetts, the state government proposes to run a pipeline through protected lands such as Shelburne Falls that is nearly 100 miles west of Boston. This land is also owned by Bill Cosby. He has been reported by the Christian Science Monitor that he believes this is astounding and it is disrespectful to humans, flora, and fauna. All 6 New England governors approve of a $3.75 million project that they claim will produce clean burning natural gas. It would be a shame to see what is left of America's natural beauty be left to fade away, all for the sake of oil prices. Since 1977, groups such as the Defenders of Wildlife have protested against drilling in the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge. At 19 million acres, groups have fought to enact legislation to protect it. In 2011 and finalized in 2012, the Defenders Group has prompted the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to enact a plan, also known as the CCP. Quote, "We are working to make sure the CCP keeps refuge and the wildlife healthy for years to come." Common everyday citizens have also shown they care about protecting the environment. It is reported by Vice.com that this year groups of protesters have came upon construction sites in New York City and Brooklyn chanting, "Go home, go home." Protesters are against a pipeline that reaches around their recreational areas. Although in New York City, Mayor Bloomberg is in favor of drilling of non-sulfur fuel. He claims that will allow them to reach clean air goals for the city. The citizens are not convinced, however, because the company Williams has a poor track record. In April, an explosion caused an entire evacuation of a town. In March, another explosion caused 5 people to become injured. It has also been reported by Vice.com that according to federal regulators, that over the past 5 years, 367 significant or serious incidents have occurred as a result of gas transmission lines, causing 10 deaths, 82 injuries, and more than $684 million in damages. It continues to be seen that pipeline drilling is a nuisance and it is an extremely precarious initiative. It is also evident that people love the outdoors and would stop at nothing to protect it. What is clear for our future is we can either have this or this. Do we want a landscape that is tranquil, placid, and serene, or an America that is arid and bare and bleak that we want for our own nation? We cannot let be manipulated by unscrupulous oil tycoons who believe profits are more important than what is best for us. The negative effects of oil drilling inhibit our future welfare and landscape as a nation and will be compromised if this were to continue. Thank you very much.